Alright, this is the Autostick conversion kit. I received this from Glenn at Convertibles Forever. He can be reached at convertiblesforever@yahoo.com. He seems to be one of the best sources for parts for the 1996 to 2000 Chrysler Sebring Convertible, which is the Generation 1. And I got this Autostick kit from him. I just want to point out what the components are. First, you have the instrument cluster. And you have 4 screws to take this out. You have one here, one here, one here, and one here. Okay. And on the back, there's 2 connectors where the harness goes. You have this one here. On the right side, well, on one side is a blue one, and another side is a red one. Okay. On the cluster itself, you see the word Autostick. I don't know if that's coming out. Just above it, when it's in Autostick mode, the word LED. It'll light up. It says Autostick. What that means is the transmission, which is an automatic, goes into a manual shift mode. And the way you work that is this is the shifter. You bring it down to here and go to the left. See the gate opens up. There's a slot. You go to the left, it's a downshift. Go to the right, it's an upshift. This looks like this is pretty easy to install. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a pin down here. I don't know if the light's shining in there very well, but it's a pin down there where the transmission cable goes to, and it looks like it just slides onto there. In the back here, there's a connector for the electrical connector, and your wiring harness needs to have this in order for it to work. Okay, you can see it right there. It's a 4-prong connector on a wiring harness. If your wiring harness isn't ready, you're going to have to wire it to the TCM. But most of the wiring harnesses seem to have it. Mine does. This is the shift boot, and you notice when you take it off, you have 4 clips, okay? One here, one here, one here, and one here. Just plastic clips, and this just snaps in. So you just pry this up very gently around the edge. It'll come out. I just want to point out, while this is out, there's an LED strip here which lights up the light for, where the indicator is, for reverse and park and drive and neutral. If the LED indicator doesn't work, it's something separate issue, but while it's out, I'm going to point it out. See this little box here? That's an EL inverter. An EL inverter is, what it does is it converts the 12-volt DC into AC, so the LED strip works. So if the LED strip starts to work intermittently or it doesn't work at all, it's probably this little EL inverter, and you can pick these up very cheap. They're probably about $7-8. That's all they are. They're very cheap. Just put a new one in, and it'll work fine. So the only difference is on this, you have this shows Autostick plus and minus, which means for upshift, downshift, and there's no indicator for third gear or low because it just goes in Autostick mode. And the final component of the Autostick conversion is the transmission control module, TCM. Now the part number on this is 963. It ends in 963 AD. The standard one ends into 962. 962. That's the standard. Autostick version is 963. The way this sits in the car is it sits like this, vertically. There's 2 bolts that actually mount this. Okay. There's one here, and there's one here. Okay. That mounts it into right next to the PCM, the power control module on the engine bay. This sits in the front on the driver's side near the radiator. Okay, it's in the very front on the driver's side. Sits just like this. So there's 2 bolts to take this out, and there's 1 bolt right here in the center to take out the harness itself. Okay, and that's all there is to removing this. So I'm going to go on to the next clip. I'm going to start taking this apart, and I see what's involved. It looks like it's a pretty simple, straightforward setup, and just show you what it's about. All right, thank you. All right, these are some of the parts that are out of the car for doing the conversion on the Autostick. And first, I just want to point out, you got the console, okay? And in the console, you got 3 screws down here. You can probably see them, 1, 2, and there's one on this side. And up here, you got 2 screws, 1, 2. 5 screws altogether to take out the console. So you got 1 here, 1 here, and 3 inside. 2 on this one side, and 1 over here. On the bottom, take out the console. You also have this wiring harness you disconnect. Okay, I showed this in another video, but just want to show it again. Now before this comes out, you have this boot, which is for it goes over the shifter. Okay, and here's the shifter. Okay, this goes over this. You can see on the bottom there's 4 clips. 1, 2, 3, 4. This just snaps right over this. And that's all there is to it. There's nothing to it. It just comes off pretty easy. On this shift handle that sits up on here, you got a little Allen screw. It's right here. Okay, so you just got to put an Allen wrench in there. Here's an Allen wrench. Okay, it just fits in there. Turn the screw a few times, and this comes off. Now at this, I'm going to show it inside the car too. There's 4 screws that hold this top piece on, and there's 4 bolts that hold this whole piece in down here. And the 4 bolts are 1/2 inch. Okay. Now this here, this is where the cable is for the pin on the cable that goes to the transmission. So you got to pry this off careful, but what you do is you loosen this all up, you take this all out so you can move. You don't want to bend this bar that goes down to the transmission. It's a cable, it's like a thick cable. So what I do is when I pry this off, I have this all loose so I can move this over to the right a little bit when I pry it off so I don't bend nothing. Then you have another cable over here. To tell you the truth, I don't know what it's for, but obviously I put it back where it belongs. It just fits right in its slot. It probably is I think it's a neutral safety switch, probably. It looks like it. And you have this switch over here. You have to lift up a tab on the side here. It fits right in this little groove. If you can see that. So you can't just pull this straight up. You got to pull out this edge right here on the side here, and then it gets so you can get over this groove. Then it lifts up. Okay. This is the old instrument panel. This is the non-auto stick. I already got the other auto stick in there. It's it's easy to do. You got 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you have 2 connectors for the wiring harness. And of course, the wiring harness is like held in place with this little plastic plug too. So you can pull that out. Same thing here. You got a little plastic plug that holds in a wiring harness on the side here, and there's one on this side. You pull those out. But you're going back to this, when you take this pin off, take this cover off, because it makes it a lot easier. It's only 4 screws that hold this on. Now with the dash cover, I just want to show a close-up. Here's the wood bezel, and on the back you got 5 clips. Okay, so you have one here, one here, one here, one here, and one on the bottom. So you could pry this out, but pry it out and pull it out, you pry on this side here, right here, and you pull on this side, both very gently. It'll start popping out. Just work a little at a time, or else you could break it. Now at this dash cover, you got 6 screws. Okay, you got one here, one here, one here, one up here, one here, and there's one on the side over here. And you won't see this one on the side unless you pull this piece off the side, right? This is covered in fuse box. You just pull it, snaps out. Okay, you got some clips on the back. You just pull it straight out. You put your hand in this little groove and pull it straight out, and then you can get at this screw. So you have 6 screws altogether. You got 1 on the side, and you got 5 over here after you pull out that this wood trim. Okay, which I showed earlier. Now on the back here, not all cars have this, but this one does. It has the traction control. So here's you got to disconnect that, and it also has this little computer thing. You disconnect that. It's 2 wires you have to disconnect. You might not have that, but if you do have it, just remember to take it off, because when you're pulling it out, you're not going to be able to get it out. So obviously, you'll see, you have traction control, and here's that little trip computer thing, whatever you want to call it. So I'll go out to the car and piece this together with something else and show you what's installed right now. It's just simple. It's an easy install. Okay. All right. Okay. This is the Autostick. What do you call it? The shifter that's installed in the car right now. So basically, I showed you what was going on with it. In there, you could see the. This is the. What do you call it? There's the shifter. It goes down. Linkage goes down to the transmission, the cable, and I think that's what the neutral safety switch here was talking about, with that cable you have to put on. So this is in the car, and then the other thing is you have to hook up this wire in the back. And I was showing this a little bit earlier, but that's that wire. Okay. I have that in the wiring harness. It's a 4-prong wire, so you'll see that. I saw it was taped on the side here, so there's no problem with the harness. And then here on the up here on the dash, the dash is already installed. You can see the word Autostick. This is the new one in there. So I'm just going to put the rest of it together, and I'll just do a short clip on the TCM, and that'll be about it. The rest, will see what it's working. Okay. All right. Bye. Okay, here's the TCM that's installed in Sebring Convertible, and it's very simple. And you have 1 bolt here and 1 bolt here, 8 millimeters, and another bolt that goes right here in the center. That light goes off right here in the center of the harness. Okay, I don't know if you can see that down there. Right there, smack in the center of the harness, there's a 8 millimeter bolt. So that's all there is to it. You got 1 on one side, 1 on the other side, and 1 on the harness itself. And you can see that's what it plugs into when it's in the car. Okay, so you can see there's a bunch of pins and stuff. It's that simple.